Hey, what's up? David here with AfterVideoFX and welcome back to another video tutorial. And today I decided to move on from the Sonic tutorials. I think I've had enough with them and I think you guys had enough with them as well. So today we're going to make something different. We're going to make this destructed building, and the beauty for this tutorial, it's 100% After Effects, so I don't think you need any external plugins for this tutorial. So without further ado, let's take a look at what we're going to be creating. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. So let's get into it. So we're going to make a new comp and we'll call this building destruction. Make it 1920 by 1080, make it 10 seconds long, hit OK. Now I've got some footage here. Where is it? Oh, here it is. And we're just going to drop it into the comp here. Now I'm just going to change my settings. So in order to do that, I'm just going to go File, Project Settings, and I'm just going to change it to frames. Hit OK, and I'll just change the timeline to frames. Okay, so first things first, we need to get our camera tracker. So we can go, maybe we could type it in here. So 3D camera tracker, and just drop it onto our comp, and it will just do some analyzing. This may take a while depending on your laptop, so for mine it will take some time, so I'm just going to pause the recording and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so once our camera tracking is done, now we can go ahead and create some solid points. So let's go over here, and I want to make a solid between this point, maybe this one and this one, and create solid in camera. And oh, by the way, you right click to get that panel bar up, and there we go. We got our solid tracking locked onto this position. Let's just hide that for now, and let's continue getting more points. So maybe I want this one on this building, so maybe here, create solid, and maybe we can make one more, maybe in this corner here, and create solid. Okay, nice. So let's go ahead and label these. So this one, we'll call it right, and the blue one, we'll call it middle, and for this one, we'll call it left. Okay. Alright, so once your tracking data is done, now we can go ahead and add our footage into this. So what I've got here is a hole that I downloaded from VideoCopilot. Just drop it in there, and let's go ahead and make it a 3D layer, and let's copy the position properties from our right solid to our image. Okay, and then we'll just shut the eye off for this, and then we can just scale it down here. We can even rotate it on a y-axis and move it up here. You can even rotate on the z-axis just a little bit, and we can just widen this out a bit. Okay, cool. So I want to draw a mask around the inside of this hole, so I'm just going to draw a mask maybe around here. So maybe just around here, around this hole. And then we'll duplicate it, hit M, and subtract that area. So now we have 2 copies of the hole, just one on the outside and one on the inside. And let's label these. So let's call this inside, and let's call this outside. Okay. Now we can just hit on this and just bring up the mask expansion so that it covers the whole hole. So maybe about 5 is good. And let's duplicate it. So Control D, and we'll call this one matte. Let's tint it just to make our life a little easier. So let's just tint it red. And what we're going to do is set the track matte to alpha matte. So now, once I scale this up, you can see it's not, it's staying within inside the hole. So I can just scale it up, move it back in Z space, and just maybe slide it over here, and just scale it in here like that. So yeah, that's looking good, and we can just like stretch it out a bit like that, so it looks like a hole. And what I want to do is grab our original hole again, and then just make it a 3D layer once again. And then what we can do is rotate it 180 degrees on the Z-axis, and let's just copy the position properties once again onto our new layer, and let's just scale it down, and let's just move it here, and just push it out a bit so it's on top, and we just even rotate it just to match our scene like that. And let's just draw a mask on top of this area so that we'll keep some of the edges here, and just feather it out. So maybe about 40 pixels like that. And we can just scale it up a bit so that fits within our comp. Now just be careful, because my scene has like these trees and these bricks, so I just want to be careful with that because it will affect my comp or my scene. So I just want to be careful with that. And maybe I could just like push all these up. Holding down Control just to give me some control over the movement, and that looks pretty good. And we can even just color correct our scene here. So maybe we can color correct the outside first so that it matches our background. So color correction curves. And we just give it a little bit of contrast, take away a little bit of red so that it matches our scene here, and add some blue like that. And we just copy this onto our other layers so that it matches our scene here. What on earth happened with that? And there we go. There is our hole done. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some like elements in here so that it looks kind of damaged. So I've got some fire clips here. I might just add in like number 1 and number 2 here. Like that. Just put on top. Boom. Look at that. And we'll make a 3D layer. Let's go ahead and continue to copy our positions to our fire layers. So now they're in 3D space. Let's go ahead and scale it down, scale it down, scale it down. I might switch this to half res. All the way down to maybe like 30. And let's focus on one at a time. So let's focus on this number 1. And let's go ahead firstly and just rotate it. And just move it up. Well, the good thing about it is that it can intersect with our fiery look. Well, no, it can intersect with our like our inside and outside layers. So make it look like it's inside. So that's pretty cool. Let's draw a mask around the bottom so that we get some softness for the bottom. And let's subtract that and hit F and just feather it out. Just move the mask a little bit up. Just feather it out. Not too much, maybe about 10 pixels. And just like that. And let's continue to scale it down until it's in our scene here. So maybe we can just like put it in here and move on to the side here. Just like this. Boom, just put it in here. And we can even just copy the scale properties for our fire into here and just place it somewhere around there. Maybe push it back in Z space. Like that. And so it is quite a big file, so I might just scale it down maybe about 7%. Just position it in here. And we're coming across with this our bottom here, so we can just draw another mask around here. Like that. And let's hit M, subtract that area, hit F, feather out maybe 10 pixels, like that. On there, like that. Okay, so we've got our fire inside. Let's go ahead and just add some smoke to our scene here. And if we just solve this, we can see some smoke happening. Let's go ahead and draw our usual mask around it and hit M, subtract that area, F, feather out maybe 5 pixels, and let's just make it a 3D layer. Copy the position properties for our fire onto our smoke, and let's just scale it down maybe to about 10, and let's just add a curves adjustment and boost the alpha. So we can just scale it up like that. Rotate it on the y-axis. Just rotate it like this. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Now we can just adjust our alpha here. Alright, so there's alpha happening. So let's go ahead and just adjust this fire a bit. So it's going a little too slow, so I might stretch it, maybe about maybe 90, and just push it in here. And just push this one in so that it gives some dynamic movement. Okay. Alright, so once our elements and our hole is done, we can just go ahead and pre-compose these. So let's pre-compose all this. Right click, pre-compose, and we'll call this hole. Hit OK. And we'll hit the collapse transformation tool. That way it stays in the original position from our camera tracking data. Alright, so next thing I want to do is add some detail around the hole. So I'm going to add some cracks. So let's go ahead and do that. So I've got some cracks here. These are all available on VideoCopilot, by the way. These are like little cracks here. And let's set the blending mode to multiply. Let's set it to a 3D layer. And oh no. Yep. And let's go ahead and just scale it down here. And let's just copy the position properties to our cracks layer. And let's just move it across here. Let's make it flat on our plane here. And let's just go ahead and scale it down a bit. So what I'm trying to achieve here is just add some detail to the outer area. So like it's all destructed and we want to see some cracks and stuff like that. So that's what I'm trying to do. So we can add one here. Duplicate it, maybe move it up here, and we can even just flip it to add some randomization to it. So this is what you basically got to do for the entire comp, or not for the entire outer area of the hole. Okay, so once you've done that, what I did, I just moved the hole on top of the crack so that it doesn't overlay it. So if we just go ahead and pre-compose all of these, so right click, pre-compose, and we'll call these cracks. Hit OK, and let's set the collapse transformation tool again, and there we go. So if you can't see the difference, that's the difference right there. Just adding a bit of detail, subtle, but better than nothing. Alright, so that's it for part 1 for the tutorial. Next tutorial, we're going to look at create some damaged holes on this side of the building. Maybe create some grunge on this one because this building's looking too clean at the moment, and we'll add some color correction and vignette to make it look like dark and just change the mood and tone for this video. Maybe we can add some more finer details here, maybe here and here, and that'll be covered for next tutorial. But for now, that's it for part 1. So thank you, and I will see you in the next video.